Hello guys and welcome to Tier 2 here in Austria, the hills of Spielberg. It's always a great track to drive. It's a very short circuit, the shortest on the calendar by a long way, which means nailing your lap in particular in qualifying is oh so vital because of the fact that the gaps and margins are so tiny around here. The sun's out. I don't know what it's going to be like for the race. Obviously on Friday we had a full wet race, 100% race. These guys were really put to the test. The championship is decided. Mark Hodgson is your champion. But we do have a big battle for P2 between, I think it's Woomax, Baby Hornet, and Armar Red. So there's still a lot to play for. These guys will want that P2 for pride. Mark's been in a league of his own this season and pretty much romped the championship. So be interesting to see how today's going to play out. Now, today I'm joined by a man that I've never commentated with before. But I'm delighted because we've actually been trying to commentate with each other for a very long time, I think. It's just for some reason never happened. But it's Neville. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. Thanks. How are you?
Yeah, always good. It's always good to be on for Tier 2. It's my favourite race of the week by a country mile. But yeah. How are you feeling ahead of Tier 1?
Not too bad. I did some practice earlier last week, and I quite enjoyed it actually. Felt like I had the rhythm down pretty well, so quite looking forward to the race in a couple of hours' time. Anticipating quite a big DRS train around here, which is going to make overtaking quite difficult. We'll probably see something similar from Tier 2 tonight as well.
Yeah, we certainly will. Qualifying at the front is weirdly a good thing round here because a lot of people end up in battles behind you, and then that's the only way you can pull a gap, really, isn't it? The clear air is really nice round here.
But yeah, definitely. It's and it's with it being such a short track, but it's got 3 DRS straights, so I mean it's almost impossible to pull out a second in the time that you have when you're not in a DRS zone. But the quicker boys, I'm sure, will be able to find a way, and it will be crucial if they can. If someone can break out of DRS at the front of the pack, then that could well decide things around here.
Yeah, that's very true. I think it's going to be one of them where this track is like a game of chess at the best of times. So it's just a matter of see what happens. But Colin is on an absolute stunner of a lap in the middle sector right now in his Red Bull. So let's see what he can do. He's coming around the penultimate and final corner. 2 corners where you just throw the car in and pray pretty much that it sticks. You've got to be very careful of the track limits on the final corner though, because you run wide there and you've got a big problem. But 105.8 is a good banker.
Yeah, that last 2 corners is absolutely full send mode through there. You just downshift and turn in and pray to an extent. Yeah, especially with that last corner, as you mentioned, as Dam Alec goes marginally quicker than Colin.
Yeah, I've seen 2 drivers go through that final corner now, and both of them have lost their front end on the way into the corner.
Yeah,
so they're pushing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure we'll get some very nice looking onboards through there in this session as we go along. Especially later on as the track grips up even more, people are just going to be absolutely going full send through there.
Yeah, I'm on board with the newly crowned Tier 2 champion, Mark Hodgson. Let's see how he gets through there. Yeah, he has a bit of a moment going into there as well, but he'd rather just hold it. He's close on track limits as well, but look at that, a 5-3. What a good banker that is. I've been informed by the boss man as well that we are getting wet in the race. So that's going to throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah, and it makes even with regards to car setup, what has everyone done? Have they gone for a more downforce-based setup to try and make the most of the wet weather conditions, or have they tried to maximise their qualifying to get as high a grid position as possible? So we'll see.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty high, for me this is a pretty high wind track anyway, because you gain almost no time on everyone else in the first and middle sector, because a lot of it's just straight. But in the last section you gain so much from it being mostly corners. So, we'll see.
And a lot of medium to high speed corners as well, where downforce is really essential.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. But let's have a look at Panita. He is the one coming into this final complex again. He's the first person. He had a bit of wheel spin on the exit after a tiny bit, but let's see what his time's going to be at 106.2. He's into P7 for the time being. Qualifying here is always fun though, because it's the smallest gaps. It's like, look, we've got the top 7 already separated by just under a second as it is, and I don't think they're even representative laps, so.
Yeah, you can expect to see some very small gaps separating the entire field round here, with it being such a short lap, that when it comes to the final runs of the session, if you nail your lap, you can suddenly move up the grid like 10 or 12 positions if you've really nailed it. So it could be a bit of a lottery as to who actually ends up on pole.
Yeah, literally. And I mean, look at, for example, the top 2. Well, Martin's just going to usurp that, but Mark and Freddie Olsen are separated by 0.07 of a second. So, 0.007 of a second, sorry, my bad. But, yeah, it's craziness. But that's a great lap from Martin, and Williams 1-2. Don't think we'd ever see that again. But...
well, not in real F1 anyway.
well, Sainz is going there, it might happen, you never know. They might upgrade enough. But, no, joking.
And they did alright in, they actually did okay in Baku, didn't they?
They really did.
It looked like Albon was right up there.
Well, they held their own in the race as well. Like, Lando and Max had an absolute nightmare trying to get past Albon. And Max was on new tyres. So, he really did well.
That could just be partly about the state of the Red Bull as much as anything, but yeah, definitely nice to see the Williams boys making a bit of a recovery in real life, and currently 1-2 here as well.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that Colapinto is definitely an upgrade on Sargent, though. But I don't think that's hard. I think I'd be an upgrade on Sargent, but
yeah.
But let's see what the Baby Hornet's going to do. He's at a 106.0, but he nearly spun it out of turn 3, so he's probably got about a second in that, at least.
Yeah, I think another thing with this track as well is that it's quite easy to invalidate your laps.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned before about the last 2 corners. So it's one thing to set a time that is fast, it's another thing to just set a time at all and set yourself a banker, and then the pressure's kind of off for the rest of the session. Looks like some of the drivers have struggled with that so far, as we're nearly halfway through and we've only got 13 laps in at the moment.
Yeah, certainly. I was just about to. Literally, it's quite funny. As you said that, I was about to bring up the track limit. This is a track where track limits always plays a part, especially in MRC. We see so many wins change due to track limits. We saw it on Friday as well. It's just one of them tracks where it's also, the game's a little bit dodgy on the track limits here. Some corners you get away with it, some you don't. It's really inconsistent lap by lap, but that's some lap by Sociopath as well, considering he's tier 3.
Yeah, excellent job. Maybe making a bit of a statement for next season, perhaps. Maybe he fancies an upgrade to tier 2.
Well, I mean, he's raced like 6 times in tier 3 this season. I'm pretty sure he's won them all, so I think he's already made that statement. But we have got a tier 3 driver currently that you'll probably be racing next year in Bobo. So.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, having done a bit of comms on tier 3 this year, he definitely looks to be tier 1 quality from what I've seen. Just incredible pace, and I'm sure he'd fit right in. I
mean, I consider myself as not slow, but when I race against him, I feel it. So, That's how it is. It's just,
Yeah.
it's demoralising. It's like racing. It's probably the same for you guys racing against you, Jody. Do you know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, 100%. The thing is with you, Joni, every week you might feel like you've prepared quite well, you've practiced, and you come into quali and you think, yeah, I can maybe, put down a decent lap time here. And then you Joni sets a banker that's faster than your time trial,
Yeah.
Personal best, and you just think, well, that's that then.
Yeah, well, that's me done. Thanks. Well, there goes Paul. That's some lap from Armar Red, though. That's his second lap on those tyres. He's got P3 in the LP. So.
Yeah, good going.
Oh, Colin, 105.0. Wow. So we've gone from a Williams 1-2 to a Red Bull 1-2, which just gives severe PTSD.
Yeah, I mean, that feels a bit more normal, although not recently, having said that. I mean, the McLarens being 18th and 19th is giving me PTSD to early 2023 as Freddie now. And Mark, goodness me, the times are just coming down.
This track is rubbery.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say it's definitely evolving. Mark and Freddie, they were the two that led after the bankers as well, don't forget. So they've got time for one more lap as well, which is interesting. So we're going to see them both out on track. The thing is, it's still so close. The top, 7 separated by just under 0.3 of a second. So it's still all to play for.
It's only until you get to Iravois in P16 that you get a second spread from P1. So, and I'm sure that those lads near the bottom of the timing charts at the moment have got a lot more potential in. So this could be a really exciting final few minutes.
Yeah, it certainly could. That is for sure. I mean, Iravois can't do anything other than a hard tyre lap, so he's definitely going to be. Well, I'd like to think he's definitely be towards the back anyway. But it's sort of all calmed down now. I think they're all going into the garage getting ready. Good lap from Smith as well into P4. He split the 2 Red Bulls. He's done a 105.2. This is one of those tracks, especially in qualifying, where you could literally see absolutely anyone on pole. It literally is.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Rusty T at the moment in the Haas, currently P11, but he's on a fast lap at the moment.
Yeah, he's marginally up after the first sector, so it's hard to improve on your first sector though. Like I said, it's literally one corner, so
yeah, you just dump more, use more overtake, I guess, is the only real way to improve.
Yeah, exactly that. Fabian said, "Stop hurting my feelings." How am I hurting your feelings? You can't qualify with anything other than hards. I can't help the fact you're slow. Krusty T, what's he gonna do? 105.3 pops himself into the top 8. So, and again, like I said, he'll get round for one more lap as well. Well, he'll get into the pits and out on a fresh set of tyres, so that'll help. Let's go have a look at Dondage. I want to see, because that's not his real pace. He's usually towards the top, but I think he's actually just coming in the pits as well. He's on the inside.
Well, he's got 4 laps on his current set of stuff, so he'll definitely be wanting to get some fresh ones on and head back out.
Yeah, as I say, I'd probably question his life choices if he did come into the pits there, because it wouldn't make a lot of sense. Let's see, is Damalek or Airways on that? Airways isn't. He's 2.3 down, so I'm guessing he's doing a double warm-up or something like that. Damalek is coming in because he's invalidated. So it's very much now just like the calm before the storm in a way, because Colin's the first one to go. He's the one that's going to try and set his lap early, I think.
Yeah.
Let's go on board with Colin. You break it 75 for turn 1. You've got to be so careful on the exit of 1 though, for that sausage curve, and even for the inside curve.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually find that it's helpful to put on a bit of throttle just to balance the car when you come out of 1. 100%.
It's a nightmare, because the issue is as well, as soon as you come off that curve, there's also a bump, a dead line with it.
Yeah.
So it's like you hit the curve, then the bump, and by that time your car's either gone or somehow you survive. Right, let's see, what's his middle section saying? Is he going to be up? 0.091, so he is. it's going to be so close. He needs to find a little bit more if he's going to challenge for pole. That's for sure. It's going to be insanely close. He's looking good at the minute. 4P2 at least. He's bailed.
Oh, he's boxing.
He did make a little mistake, a tiny little mistake, and I wonder if that just lost him and put him in the red. The thing is he going to trust his engineers to get him in and out in time for one? Has he got one more set even? Who knows? Oh, single track gone wide at turn 1. Sorry, what you
should have time because you can literally get out with like a minute 20 left on the clock and still get round for a lap. So you should be okay. I mean, you've got the top 3 still in the pits, so they're just it's a case of who blinks first. They're waiting as late as possible to get back out.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get a toe in those first 2 sectors as well, you'll absolutely be laughing, I think, round here. Especially down to turn 3, that could be a beautiful toe. But so let's see.
So is on for a big improvement. So he goes very wide.
That's gonna hurt him.
Final corner.
He's improved though. He's at P11. So that's probably cost him more. Oh, Wookie spun. His lap's done. That'll be probably session done for Wookie as well, unless he's got enough in those tyres to keep going. But let's have a look at Carl. By the way, Mr. Bit W has the 5th fastest time in this league in TT.
Wow.
I've got most of the league as a friend on PlayStation, and this guy is 5th in my friends list. So I expect pole.
Can he deliver it right now? Oh, he's
invalidated. How did he invalidate there? It didn't even look like he went off, if I'm honest. But
no. Yeah, not sure.
That was weird. But let's see. Let's now have a look at single track. He's also a man that popped it. Was briefly in pole earlier, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see what he can do. I know he invalidated the last lap with a big mistake. He doesn't look like he's pushing all that much. Let me see. Is he using factory? No, he's not. So this isn't a push lap for Martin. He's going to go again after this. Interestingly, Mark Hodgson hasn't gone out.
Yeah, and neither have Womax or Jackster. So it's 3 of the top 5 going to stay in pits as Damalek goes up to 4th.
Yeah, people seem to be making a very big mess of their last lap. I'm watching a lot of people. Airways. Wow, he was a bit of a silent assassin there. That was some lap for him to get into pole. He was right behind Mark's teammate as well. I think he may have got a toe. But that's incredible.
To take it by more than a 10th is crazy. That's a big difference around this track.
Oh, Martin's had a huge moment on the entry of turn 3. He took a lot of curve and it seemed to have unstabilised the car a little bit. But is it going to have cost him that much? There's a car in the way a little bit, which will have hurt him on the exit of 4. But now let's see what he's doing in the middle sector. He's still pushing, so I'm guessing he's gone wide. He's hit the gravel. He's 2 tenths up though. Has he bailed? Yeah, he's bailed. That's obviously cost him. He's invalidated. That's why.
Pretty's improving big time coming up to the final sector or the final straight.
Oh, he's invalidated.
He invalidates on the final corner.
Yeah. He lost in time, ironically, but wow, I saw the minute he hit that curve, I knew where he was going. It was one of them where, okay, you know where he's going here.
Yeah.
Smith is invalidated.
He's done.
Sociopath's done it as well. What's Monster doing? He's all the way down to P18. He's about to. He's not gonna. Well, to be fair, a 10th could put you up. Oh, he's gone wide as well. He's invalidated. Yeah,
it's that was last a bit. Corner, man. It just gets in your mind. You think that you've got to give it everything through there, and everyone just going a bit over the limit.
Whoa! I've just realised we've got an Aston 1-2. Baby Hornets popped it second right at the death as well.
Oh wow!
So those two have really pulled it out of the bag there. Airways came from nowhere. He was kind of nowhere all session, and all of a sudden, wow. But
yeah. I mean, Pridi will be kicking himself with that last lap. He was 4 tenths up through sector 2 on his best, so that would have given him pole if he'd have just been able to maintain that. So to lose it on the final corner will be very, very annoying indeed for him.
It'll be interesting in the race though to see who went dry setups, who went wet setups. Though it's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Martin didn't say if it's going to be wet for the whole race or if it's just going to be wet for part of it, but your racing grid for Tier 2 Airways will start on pole. Baby Hornet is second. Mark in third. Freddie Olsen in fourth. Krusty T in fifth. Colin in sixth. Dabalek is seventh. Max in eighth. Jackster in P9. Smith is P10. Sociopath 11th. Single Track 12th. Armar Red in 13th. Bergen 14th. Panitza in 15th. Wookie 16th. Bit in 17th. Monster 18th. Error Voice is 19th. And Dondage is P20. That was a very interesting. I think it's going to be obviously we can't judge that qualifying. Well, you can't judge any qualifying on how the race is going to be, but you definitely can't that one because we know there is going to be rain at some point, which is going to throw. Also, well, it's definitely not going to rain at the start, that's for sure, because that's blue sky. But if there is rain, it's going to really throw a spanner in the works here.
Yeah, but with how clear it looks at the moment, you would imagine it's going to take, I don't know, at least a few, maybe half the race before the rain comes in. So you probably are better off going for a drier setup
Yeah.
than completely compromising it, because at least for the start, it's obviously going to be dry. So it'll be interesting, like you said, to see.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. If it obviously if it's dry for 75% of the race, you're naturally better off just going for a dry setup and then suffering it a little bit in the wet. But it'll
Yeah,
be weird to see how this plays out because Austria in real life, especially and even in MRC, have brought up some of the best races I've seen. Like the racing around here, Friday's race in the wet was one of the best races I've watched in MRC. Well, commentating on an MRC, it was absolutely brilliant. Everyone side by side, super clean. It was wonderful. But
yeah. Fingers crossed we get more of the same. I mean, it's one of my favorite tracks to race on the F1 game.
yeah,
Just for the fact it's so short, kind of makes it feel a bit more hectic, and I don't know. It's just got a nice flow to it. It's fast most of the time, and there's just some really fun corners, like the last corner. You can just absolutely send it in there, and it's really satisfying when you get it right.
but there's also the opposite to that where it's really infuriating when you run that slight little bit, even a millimeter over that line, and you're like, oh no. It's like all it takes is just one little twitch in that corner, and you've invalidated your lap, and then you're like, wow.
Yeah, yeah, and it's definitely a prime place for. Sorry, I'm just munching on a chocolate hobnob.
You enjoy it.
It's yeah, yeah, but it's a good place for well, not a good place for, but definitely a place where you're likely to accumulate warnings during the race. You get a 3-second penalty very easily just from extending the exit of that turn, which is very frustrating because even if you just go a millimeter out, you get slapped with a warning.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm glad to see that. Like the one thing I have noticed through the brief bit of practice I've done today is that turn three seems to be a lot easier on the traction side of things. Without a doubt, you can get the power down a lot earlier on this game than you could on previous ones.
Yeah, it's kind of finally got to a point where I feel like that's what it would be like in real life, as opposed
Yeah,
to previous years. It was so slippery always coming out of there, which didn't make a lot of sense to me. But
yeah.
yeah, it's a lot more satisfying this year to just get your foot down that bit quicker and get a good
Yeah,
exit through there.
it has a bit more of a like send it mentality into there now because you know the car will stick after you've sent it as well. Whereas before it was just like, right,
Yeah,
let me feather this for the next 10 seconds to see if I'm actually going to get any traction. And you're halfway down the straight by the time you even got the throttle down. So it's like, brilliant, cheers.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, and that's the slowest corner on this track, so it's definitely the most important traction zone for that, because really everywhere else you're not really that's probably the only corner where you might be in second gear. I'd say anywhere else you're looking at least third, mostly
Yeah.
fourth or fifth, maybe even sixth gear.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's all what also doesn't help with that corner is it's obviously uphill on entry, then it's almost uphill, but then at the same time off camber on the exit. So
Mm,
it's a bit like
yeah,
Zandvoort's turn 3 in a weird way, but not exactly in terms of the camber. But
yeah,
it's the weirdest corner I've ever seen. But at least now they've made it drivable, so
yeah,
that's a
yeah. I mean, turn
positive.
three at Zandvoort with the camber, it's like seeing the cars, the line they take through there, they're just like around the outside all the way is strange to see F1 cars do that because you'd usually see them try and hit the apex on the inside, but yeah, that one is just like watching oval racing almost, where they're using as much of that camber as they can.
It's like being at Thorpe Park, to be honest. Like you're trying to,
Yeah,
you're just flying around at like a almost 90-degree angle in your car. It's craziness, but
yeah,
yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. But I mean, obviously there was quite a bit of drama in the real life race this season here with Lando and Max. I mean, me and you were pretty vocal about it in the Discord at the time as well. But yeah,
mm,
it was something.
yeah, and a few others besides. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that day very well. For
uh,
the chat was really popping off
but rightly
for
so.
obvious reasons. Yeah,
But it was, yeah. I'm glad that we don't see any of that because, like, to be honest, they're lucky they lasted as long as they did without crashing with some of the driving that was going on. But you know,
yeah, and then but then when it did all blow up, it was the really really small contact between them that just destroyed their tires. It was quite weird. It wasn't like it wasn't as dramatic a collision as you might have expected from the damage that was caused.
yeah, it was very strange. But you know, luckily they both lived to fight, and now we've also now got a stunning title fight on the hands for the rest of the season. So let's hope it plays out
Yeah,
fairly.
yeah. Fingers crossed.
Let's have a little look at the tyres. So the top 6 all gone for mediums, and Damalek is the first hard runner with single track Panizza and Monster. Everyone else on mediums, and then Dondej at the back has gone for softs, which is well, I mean, safety cars around here, particularly in MRC, are usually quite popular because, especially out of turn 3, it's easy to lose the rear and just end up in the barrier, isn't it? So
Yeah, definitely.
that Dondej will probably very much be hoping for an early safety car and then potentially to be able to take those hard tyres quite a long distance and hope for maybe a late safety car as well, which could help him. But those Astons are not holding back at all. They are really pushing on their outlap here. And Marcus are playing that game.
No, I mean, they might just think this is the best way to generate heat in the tyres, because that's one thing I have noticed this year, is that it is a bit more difficult than it was in F123 to really generate heat on the warm-up lap, just by weaving. You've really got to go quick, I think, to generate that heat, which looks to be what the Aston boys have decided to do.
Yeah, certainly. The thing is, again, it's such a short run here to turn 1. You're better unless you get a considerable better start. You might as well wait. If you're going to try and make an overtake, you might as well wait for that run down to turn 3, because you're almost, if you go side by side through 1, the chances are one of you are going off the track more often than not. So it's one of them. Who's going to have the better start? We know Baby Hornet has usually been very good off the line. Airway's not so good at times this season, but it could all change today. The Astons are probably going to try and help each other as well here, because they probably want to confront this point. But 5 red lights, and we are racing. Who's made the better? I've got the worst camera angle in history, so we're going to go on board with Hornet. But Airway's made a good start there, good second phase as well, especially. He didn't have the best first phase, but Mark is having a little sniff of the rear of Baby Hornet at the minute. Let's see. He's going to try and he's going to make the lunge into turn 3. No, he's not. Baby Hornet, incredible on the brakes. He's going to have the outside. That will give him the exit as well on those two. There's a bit of a battle behind between Krusty T and Colin as well. Both side by side on the run down, but Colin's actually got it done.
Oh, Monster's out of the race.
Oh, not good. That's a safety car early on. Was that a traction loss contact?
It was contact, I think, because I didn't have the greatest camera angle either of that, but it just looked like Monster suddenly flying over to the wall on the left-hand side, so I think that was probably interlocking wheels.
Yeah, I was going to say
Wookie in the kick sounder.
I was going to say I've just seen him on the left side, and that's not usually a place you. Well, that's not the place you go if you lost traction, is it? That's a huge shame for Baby Hornet, but the timing is pretty good, I guess, because he's lost connections to the session, but at least it's during a safety car.
Yeah, if we can, fingers crossed, get back in while we're still under yellow flags, and if his AI doesn't do anything silly like hit him on the safety car if that's not what he wants to do, and there you go, he's straight back in.
Yeah, he always every single race he loses connection, but he doesn't lag, so it's like, I don't know if his PS5's just got a glitch with the game or something, where it just kicks him from the session, but I don't know, it's weird. But it's the first time in F1 history we have 3 Aston Martins at the front of the grid at the minute.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
If they went side by side, you probably wouldn't notice any difference.
No. Yeah, no, that's probably, well, I mean, we'll see what happens with, Adrian Newey going there next season. Maybe we will see it in maybe a season or two.
We all know what's going to happen. Lance Stroll for world champion 2026.
Yeah.
There's no chance.
Surely if that happens, I'm giving up.
I will honestly, I promise you I'll never watch it again. Ever. Because that's the day you know the sport has hit an all-time low. I would go as far as to say he is the worst in terms of skill in F1 currently.
Well, now that Sargent's gone, I think, yeah, probably.
I don't think there is a worse. Maybe Magnussen's close, but...
Magnussen, I'd almost say Perez as well, the way he's been driving this year. He's been really just awful.
It was quite entertaining yesterday, though, how he absolutely destroyed Max, yet still has nothing to show for it. that was pretty hilarious to me, I have to say.
Yeah, when things aren't going your way, they just really, it's just like rubbing salt in the wounds at that point, isn't it?
I mean, it annoys me, though, a little bit with that yesterday, because it's like Red Bull totally I mean, I've watched it from both angles about 6-7 times, and to me they both moved into each other, so yeah, ultimately it's a racing incident, but Red Bull are like, he needs a big penalty. No, that's not how racing works, mate. If he just literally swiped you, then okay, fair enough, I'd be like, yeah, penalty, but that's not how it was, so. But they're going to defend their driver, even if he's crashed. And ultimately it's costing the top of the constructors as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's classic Red Bull tactics, and we've seen it. We saw it so much in 2021, whenever Hamilton and Verstappen came together, there was massive amounts of complaining. On both sides, to be fair, but definitely Red Bull played their part.
Oh, that Abu Dhabi race, alright, forget the controversy at the end, but for the large part, it was like being in a school playground for most of it, listening to the radios.
Yeah, I at the same time loved and hated the radio messages between the teams and Michael Massey at the time. It was dramatic, but it was also quite childish.
it was so childish. It was, don't get me wrong, for an entertainment purpose, brilliant. Oh, I'll tell you what though, sorry to stop the chat, but Airways has absolutely bolted it really early. He went super early there, but now he's almost, I don't know if he caught the safety car a bit there, because he's dropped right back into the clutches of Baby Hornet, so I wonder if he got the thing where it doesn't let you throttle for a corner or two. But Baby Hornet's got the run on him. He's not going to close enough though. I don't think these two are going to do anything stupid to get to me. I thought Mark was going to send it for a second, then I absolutely Nearly had to hold my breath because I thought that was going to end bad, but everyone seems to have made it round so far quite well.
Yeah, pretty much all the way down to the back as well. There's no dramas at this stage. Don Dedge has made up a few positions from starting last. He's 15th now on his soft, so he's doing pretty good.
Yeah. Well. But that's
Bergen and Armour Reds having a bit of a battle. Bergen staying ahead.
Yeah, those two are holding on quite nicely. The thing is, it's very much a train from the minute all the way first down to P12. They're all within a second of each other, so it's just who can break a gap on someone to be able to make a move on the other. Oh, you said earlier, it's perfect. Oh, well, I'll tell you what though, Colin has pulled the second on Prusty seat. He may become under a little bit of pressure over the next few corners to Weemax behind. Which will be interesting to watch out for. But Damalek is looking really racy up the rear of Weemax as well. He tried to almost send it a little bit into turn 3, but look at Baby Hornet. He's super close to his teammate at the moment. That was incredibly close going into turn 4.
Friddy's got past Mark.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I literally saw one. I was like, why's the green car in third? And then realised, wow, he's past Mark. Oh, Mark's struggling because look at that Red Bull. It's pretty much pushing him through the final sector. There's no way you could have a look. Please don't have a look there. Please don't have a look. Oh, no.
Oh.
That was only ever going to end one way. Yeah, that was it. I'll say this. Incredible car skill, but please don't ever try and move there again. For everyone's sake. But it won't, including your own. But
yeah, I'll make note of that later.
Yeah. Noted. Well, here goes Baby Hornet. He's now the lead Aston Martin. Obviously his teammates barely fought that, so he knows at this point Baby Hornet is arguably the faster of the two. There's a yellow flag. Is that Wookie at the back? I think he's lost it at turn 1.
Oh yeah, he's facing the wrong way, but he's getting going again. I don't know if he's getting damage. I think it's got the camera once again. Oh, he's really struggling.
Yeah, he's never done those CC before, so this is his first time trying it, I think.
Yeah, and it's brought out VSC, so he can hopefully... Oh, he's lost his front wing as well. We'll have to pit for that.
Thank God it's only a virtual. That's what I will say. Thank goodness for that. But it'll be interesting. No, I don't think. I think it's too early for anyone to potentially pit. Actually, I think there might be a Mercedes looking at here. No, he was just thinking the line. Okay. Oh no, there is a Red Bull. I think it's Sociopath. He's taking this moment to pit. Can you do 30 laps on hards here?
Yeah, I think you can. I'm surprised that Don Dedge has carried on actually.
Yeah, I thought he
definitely. I reckon you can get to the end from here for sure.
Oh,
Although
okay,
Sociopath has gone for softs.
He's also gone for, he pitted for a wing change, so he obviously had damage from somewhere. So that makes more sense about this stop. Yeah, that's
Friddy's
weird.
got past Airways.
Maybe Airways was stuck on Delta towards the end, worried about a drive-through, and Friddy was able to capitalise on the restart potentially. Because that must have been before he was definitely ahead of him before the VSC came out. So, strange. Something weird has happened. Someone's gone round, or there's a yellow flag somewhere.
So I think no.
There was someone in second two. I think it was a McLaren. I think it was Bittu at the moment, potentially. But I think he's back going again now. He's dropped about 3 or 4 places there. But Baby Hornet's got the gap at the minute, at least, to Friddy for the DRS, which is going to open the opportunity for his teammate, who's getting super close. Who's going to get the better X out of turn 1, though, because this will make a difference. I don't think Friddy's going to get that wing open. He's not. Could this be a double? Because look how close Mark is to Airways as well. This could end up 3 wide into turn 3, potentially. No, Mark was way too smart for that. They made a bit of contact into 3. I think they both come out without any damage though, but 3 seconds for Friddy. It didn't even look like he went off the track. That was strange.
And he's Mark thinking better of sending it there.
He got past Airways though, Mark did. because of the contact with Freddie, it compromised him on the exit, and Mark managed to get the restart down the straight. But I do wonder if we're going to see that in the Stewards with Freddie, because he definitely did not go off the track there and got a third warning, so I wonder if he had a glitch.
Well, the only thing is, if he's got to make sure that he doesn't get any more warnings for the rest of the racing.
Yeah. And he's got to prove it as well with the race director, so yeah. It's quite a long process really, but it's there. So, but this is all music to Baby Hornets because he's managing to build that gap around a track that it's very hard to build a gap. But here goes Mark. Is he gonna have a look into turn 3? No, Freddie is very, very strong on the brakes into turn 3. That was very good driving.
Maybe Mark's thinking as well. He's got another go with the DRS down to turn 4. He's going to have a look on the inside, and he's going to make that work. I think
he did very, very good too. He squeezed him out on the entry to the corner as well, which is quite smart because it compromised the turning a little bit for Freddie. So it meant Mark could definitely claim that as his position, because the outside line in most corners of this track are actually the preferred line in terms of exit, aren't they? So yeah. But let's have a little look, because now Airway's putting a lot of pressure on Freddie. That 3 seconds is really going to hurt him, especially if there's more safety cars towards the end of the race. But Mark, fastest lap, he's put his foot down. How quickly is he going to be able to catch the race leader and get within that second?
Yeah, he'll want to do that and at the same time not be overtaken again by Freddie, who's obviously got DRS wide open. Marcus now within a second of Baby Hornet. I don't know if there was a detection zone there. There was, so he'll get the rear wing open for turn 4.
Yeah, he certainly will, but Armar Red's just got past Smith. Armar Red's in a fight for P2 and he's been stuck behind Smith. He's putting 6.7 seconds behind anybody. That's really hurt him in his battle for P2. The Baby Hornet outscored him by 11 points today. He secured P2 in the championship. But at the minute, Baby Hornet's looking good for P2 and to potentially be racing U next season.
Yeah, bring it on.
Nothing sorry
more the merrier. I'd love to see well, I'd love to see Mark make a return to Tier 1.
Don't worry, he has no choice now.
This year.
He has no choice now.
Good.
We've made that very clear to him. He's up next season. So, yeah. I don't think you'll see him back in Tier 2 anytime soon either. So, yeah. Freddie Olsen, another 3 seconds. This is just, with all the pace he's got, this is absolutely killing his race. But he's going to have a look up the inside of Mark. It's raining, by the way.
It started to rain. Yeah, I just noticed that as well.
So... That blue sky, it just shows how quickly the weather changes here. But Freddie Olsen's now, they're 3 wide down the back straight. And I've got the worst camera angle in history. But Airways is through. They're all losing grip here because I think, look at the traction levels. There's a Mercedes in the wall. I think it was Womack. There's a yellow flag, safety car's out. Who's the crash?
Sociopath, I think, out of...
Yeah, he's got no wing.
He's missing a front wing.
Wow, so Dondedge is already pit for Inters. I mean, it's definitely not that stage yet, but I do think we will see cars come into Inters here, just because.
Yeah, Baby Hornet is.
Yeah, he is. That is for sure, and it is actually raining quite heavy now as well. So, yeah, we're going to see. I'd be very surprised if not everyone comes into Inters here. Maybe that's why then Dondedge went for the soft tyre, because he knew the rain was coming early and took the gamble and thought I can take these softs for the time when the rain comes.
Yeah, the drivers that are on the slick are really struggling. Like single track in the middle sector, the track has deteriorated so fast. I'm pretty sure that a lap before the rain started it was blue skies. And all of a sudden it's
yeah, you're not wrong. Well, that's why I was like, wait, it's raining? I was so confused when I saw the rain coming down. I really was. But yeah, oh my god, look at Martin at the penultimate corner. He's just had a huge moment. He didn't even have his foot on the throttle. So the only good thing is for these guys that were towards the back, it very much neutralises the grid now as well. It also, what's he been lapped? I don't know. Yeah, he has now. He's just spun at turn
He
3
definitely
himself.
has now.
So he's so the thing is, sadly, it's looking very much like race over for him at this point. But
I mean, this is absolutely what you do not want when you've not been practicing no traction control, is a wet race as well. Like, that's an absolute nightmare.
He literally asked the question of, is tier 2 no TC? About 10 minutes before the race started. So I think this is like his first ever lap with no TC. So the fact that he's still going is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, it's good practice if nothing else.
Yeah, it certainly is. If he can get to the end, then I'd take that as a huge plus, if I'm honest. But interestingly, the biggest gainer from all that seems to be Damalek. He's up to P4. Freddie Olsen's come back in the pit. No, yeah, Freddie Olsen's in the pit. Why? Has he spun on his outlap that I haven't seen?
I don't think so. He looks like the car is okay. I don't know if he's maybe going for the wets, perhaps. Maybe he feels like he's got nothing to lose.
Front wing, he has got damage. He's got front wing change. So he must have hit the wall at some point on that lap, and that's why I said Damalek's gain. That must be where Damalek gained the place, because he wasn't in P4 before that. I know that. But
Bergen and BitW have gone for the wets now.
I mean, to be honest, I was on comms for Friday, and that was wet tyres the entire way. The track doesn't look much different to how it did on Friday, so I don't think it's wet yet, because usually when it's wet weather you can see puddles on the track, and at the minute you can't see any puddles. But I don't think it's going to be that far away, because this has got wet super duper quick as well.
Yeah, and you know, if it is going to go full, then you probably overall you save time by doing a pit stop behind the safety car rather than waiting for it to go green flag again and having to pit then. So that could end up being a inspired decision.
Without a doubt, and I mean, ultimately, if they've made the right decision and it is already wet, then they're in a very good position to win this race, as things stand. So, let's see. And I know those two are at a party together, so they'd have both discussed that very well. But, yeah, we've got one more lap of safety car, which, in a way, could actually benefit them too, because it's one more lap of driving slowly, but on a wet track, so it just gets wetter rather than dry quicker. And I tell you what, that spray now as well is starting to look rather bad.
It really is. Spray, and but the track, it still doesn't quite look like it's puddling yet, if that's a word. It just looks quite shiny. You know, you can see the water reflecting on the surface, but it hasn't formed puddles as of yet.
It's moist, but still not wet. If that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm using your puddling word now all the time. That was incredible. That's my favourite word I've heard all year. I want that in the dictionary in the next one. But Error Voice interestingly gone for wets as well, so I wonder if those guys are potentially know something and have taken the gamble now and gone for a long-term gain, maybe short-term pain here, potentially.
Yeah. I'm just on board with the leader. Yeah, it just doesn't look ready for it, to be honest, but that rain is coming down fairly heavily, so it might not take long.
Yeah, certainly, but we're soon going to find out. We could both have mud slapped straight on our foreheads after this, with those two flying through the field and end up taking the lead, but we'll soon find out, that's for sure. When's Simon going to go though? This is interesting, because has he got the heat in those intermediate tyres? Can he get the heat in those intermediate tyres? So let's see. Yeah, the track doesn't look as wet as it did on Friday, that's for sure. But now we're going to see. He's super slow. I thought.
Carl.
Yeah, you enjoy Carl. See if he can get any moves done, and see how far he drops off the pack as well. He seems to have a bit of a gap at the minute. It's a car ahead of him currently. But let's see. Baby Hornet's gone. and he's kept it going out the final corner, so he's managed it beautifully to start with. They've actually got a bit of a gap as well. He knows to pull away a little bit from like there. Don't forget, guys, there will be no DRS now either because it is wet conditions. So overtaking will be hard, but Smith and Jackson look like they're side by side on the exit of one. I think everyone made it round just about okay anyway, so
Yeah.
I think everyone's okay. But let's have a look. Still side by side between Smith and Jackson into turn 3. No contact. Brilliant move from Jackson around the outside. That's incredible driving. But now you've got Jackson and Armar Red, the two Alpines going side by side. We know what happens in real life when two Alpines get close. They crash.
Yeah.
But they both survive, so they're already better than Ocon. Let's see.
I don't think I don't think it's ready yet because the single track has gone past Carl and Bergen, so it's maybe not quite there.
Interestingly though, Bergen looks the racier of the two because he's all over the back of Carl, so I'm wondering if Carl is just struggling in general rather than... because Bergen looks like he's trying everything in his power to get past Carl here. So...
yeah, true.
We'll find out. I'm going to go towards the front because that's where the battling really is. Krusty Cheek right on the rear of Womack. Can he get anywhere near on the run down to 3? You've got to be so brave in these conditions to make the lunge though, because it's 5 meters later than you should brake, and that's it. You're going to go aquaplaning off the track. He's nearly got into the back of Womack, but they both survived it, at least for the time being. Jackson Smith side by side again. Jackson had a huge moment on the exit of 3. That's going to allow Smith through and into P9 for the time being anyway. But Armar Red in front of them are both struggling. But let's have a look a bit further behind because Freddie Olsen and Dondage side by side. Dondage has the outside line, but Freddie's got it done. That's very good driving. Martin's now having a little look as well, but no, he's backed out and been sensible about it for the time being. But yeah, I think you're right about the wet tyres. It's not quite that stage yet. But then at the same time, they haven't dropped as much as I thought they would if the tyres were wrong.
Well, I think it really is a question of can Bergen get past BITW and then maybe show what he can do in these conditions. He's having a look on the inside into the penultimate corner and he's going to make it stick, and he's pushed Carl wide. That's allowed sociopath. Bergen's got some clean air. Can he actually show a bit more pace? And we'll see, get a clear indication perhaps now if it is ready for the wets or not.
Yeah, we certainly will, but I tell you what, this is an absolute titanic scrap in front of them. You got Jackson getting past Smith again, you got Freddie having a look up the inside of Dondage. They both nearly made contact again. Martin's there again as well to try and collect any pieces. Let's watch this on board with Martin because you've got the McLaren and the kick both side by side. Wookie's out of the session. I think he's gone in the pit. Yeah, he has. Oh, the Alpine and the Mercedes. No, wait, what car's that? I don't even know, but the Alpine and someone made contact with someone and the Alpine ended off track. I was watching from like 5 cars behind though.
Yeah, it was the Cash RB, whatever you call it.
Oh, the MasterCard. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. From the angle I saw, it didn't look like there was much contact. It looked partly like Jackson lost a bit of traction at the same time as plonking the side of the Cash App full racing thing. But they, at least they both survived. Jackson hasn't dropped too much. He's still part of the pack as well, so should be able to recover. Yeah, but the wets are definitely the wrong tyre. Bergen's been overtaken by Sociopath and now they're starting. But then at the same time, he hasn't really been gapped by Sociopath. Let's have a look.
No,
yeah.
The weather doesn't look like it's getting worse either. The rain, it's kind of just settled in as it is, and the track still doesn't really look like it's getting much worse. But it might be that, yeah, the wet tyres were not the right choice.
Yeah, well, the thing is as well with it, like as soon as the rain falls, the cars are clearing up almost as well, because don't forget these cars are like demons when they go around wet tracks. So it's like no sooner it falls, they're already and it's only a minute lap, so no sooner than they're already done a lap. Like by the time we're only at half distance, which is quite interesting. But it'll be interesting to see if these Inters can go the rest of the race.
Yeah, I think they should be able to, but obviously towards the end they'll start to really lose grip, and the times will be a lot slower. So it might be worth boxing again if it doesn't, you know, if the track condition stays suited for intermediate tyres. It might be worth making a pit stop just to have that extra grip. But yeah, we just have to see how things unfold from here. I mean, the front 7 or 8 are all within a second of each other, so any one of them still could win this race.
Oh, well, I mean, to be honest, even the gaps aren't that big all the way down to like what 15th really, are they? Well, I mean, look at Bergen as well. He's sort of started to hang with these guys now, so I'm wondering if it's sort of on the crossover point where both tyres kind of work. Because Bergen is hanging on to them.
I'll see how the lap time compares with Sociopath just ahead when they next cross the line. That will give us a bit of an indication as the Alpine jacks goes super wide out of the corner.
These are such tough conditions, especially at a track like this, like we said earlier, where it's so easy to run wide and get. But I'm quite impressed that there's only 2 drivers with track limit penalties at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, I think the drivers running wide are backing off at the same time so that they don't actually get the warning.
Well, there's also no grip out there as well, so in these conditions, if you go wide, you're really going to lose time. There's a good chance you're either going to lose your rear and half spin or fully spin. So,
yeah, exactly. Last lap, by the way, Sociopath and Bergen were both in the 1 minute 15. So, yeah, what you said before of it being a crossover point between the 2 tyres seems to be the case. Although Bergen is not quite able to catch up to Sociopath and Jackster, although Sociopath has made a mistake, a little slide, which has allowed Bergen to get closer. Oh, he's gone wide,
yeah.
Gravel.
I've just cut to him and I've seen him in the gravel. I was like, oh no. Well, hopefully. I don't. The thing is, I think everyone's in a bit of a ballpark now where it's like, I don't want to pit at this stage, but I'll tell you what, we're going to have a bit of a fight here because Airways is right behind Mark Hodgson. He's going to be looking at the exit into turn 3, 4 to try and make the move. Oh, Baby Hornet's gone super deep into turn 3. That's going to have hurt him. But he's managed to get enough of an exit to be able to keep Mark a good distance away. But no, Airways doesn't quite have the straight line speed to be able to make a move. There's something going on down in P11 and 12 between Martin and Dondage. They're both side by side on the run down to turn 4. Who's going to be able to make the move? Is Martin going to be that later on the brakes? He is. Very good move. Very well controlled as well to be able to keep it that close to the corner in these conditions. Brilliant driving. Armar Red made a move on Krusty T as well for P7. So there are drivers that are really trying to make the moves here.
Yeah, even without the DRS, you've still got the battery, of course, and you can use that effectively. And actually in the rain, you sort of use a lot less of the battery than you would in the dry, so it shouldn't be running out at this stage.
Yeah, Wimax has damage
in the pits.
Yeah. End plate missing, sadly for him. I've just noticed that because I saw him take the inside lights off. I think he's going to come in the pits here, and did so. This is interesting though, because I tell you what though, I'm watching these two at the front a lot, and 1 minute Mark gets within like 3/10 of Baby Hornet, then the next lap he pulls a second on him, and then Mark will close that gap down the next lap. It's like they're playing around with each other here and just like having a little bit of a laugh out front. I don't know if Baby Hornet's potentially trying at times to back him into Airways so Airways can make the move potentially, but I guess we'll soon find out how that plays out. You've got the hat of Damalek and Colin both pretty much attached to these two as well. So it's, I'd say now it's very much a 5-way fight for this race win, as things stand.
Yeah, Armour Red is losing ground down on P6, about 3 seconds. And we've still got Bergen struggling to get past the Alpine of Jackster. It's so difficult without the DRS assistance to make a pass, so we still really don't know what sort of pace Bergen is capable of in clear air on those wets.
No, we definitely don't, that's for sure. But I tell you what, Mark Hossin just had a huge moment at the final corner, but somehow he managed to hold off Airways, because I really thought Airways was going to get him into turn 1, but I think Airways thought twice about it. He's had a terrible exit, that's going to leave him under a potentially no. The thing is, they have terrible exits, and they managed to recover it in like the second phase of the exit, and that leaves them under no pressure at all, so they're actually giving me no entertainment whatsoever here. They're all a little bit... I tell you what though, there is a dry line forming, which might sound weird because the rain's got heavier, but it does look like there's a drier line, without a doubt.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can see it, but the rain doesn't look like it's...
If anything, it looks heavier.
Up at all. Yeah, so it's a bit odd to see the dry line.
And the power of the F1 car. Don't buy Hoovers, guys, just buy one of these. It'll do so much better for you. But Airways, Mark's really turned the heat up a little bit here on Baby Hornet as well. I think he thought, it's time to put a little bit of pressure on. Oh, big moment for Airways out of turn 1. That's going to cost him any chance of getting anywhere near Mark. But now, can Mark close that gap enough? I'd say he probably needs to be within 3/10 or so of Baby Hornet to have any chance of a move in these conditions.
Yeah, the toe on its own is not that strong actually. So you really do need to be right under the wheel of the car in front to make use of it. And I think it's the reason why things have sort of settled down a bit with fewer overtakes than we saw earlier with the DRS. So yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky for these guys to make moves.
I think the exit out of corners here is very pivotal as well, especially out of like 3, for example, because that one's all traction. If you can get the exit out of there, then you've got a chance to make the move or defend the move even. So Mark's gone super wide. He's probably got a track limit warning for that one. He went super wide on the exit of the penultimate corner there, but he's managing to hold on. But I've noticed the game is generally quite a lot more lenient in wet conditions with track limits.
Yeah. Probably just because, as you said earlier, the car's going that much slower, it just makes you that
it doesn't
likely to get a warning.
Yeah, exactly that. Freddie, well, as I say, that Freddie Olsen, I think that man can manage to get a penalty in a no rule session. Sorry, that's really hard. I love you, Freddie. But let's see. Colin though, he's having real difficulty. He's just been stuck behind Damalek this entire time, and I think they're all struggling so much to make any sort of progress on the driver in front at the minute.
Yeah, well, he was last lap. He was 3/10 single track.
He's on the move. Single track is very much on the move. It was only 3-4 laps ago he was P12 and fighting with Jackson, Smith and Freddie, and now he's already up to P8. He's still an outside shot for top 6 here, I think. If he can keep the pace going at what he currently has.
And Crosstier struggling as well with traction. Just had a big moment in the last 2 corners.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a change in lead because Hornet's just lost it at turn 1. Mark is really using his DRS. You can see him closing. Is he going to send it? He's not. He backs out. I thought he was going to make the lunge there, and I thought it was actually going to be a good idea for him to. But Hornet's got a very good exit out of turn 3, and that's going to protect him down this straight. But that was very close, and Hornet was very, very lucky to hold on to that out on the exit of turn 1.
And Colin got passed down well into turn number 3, so he's moved up. After what we were saying about it being difficult, he pulled it off.
Yeah, I think he's got the pace to potentially win this race. He's looked very, very quick the entire way through, and you could definitely tell during that early stint that he had a chance of winning the race, and I think now he's got another chance. He's not far behind. There was a yellow flag. I think it was Sociopath who had a moment, or Smith, one or the other. But interestingly, Armar Red's caught this pack quite a lot as well. After we said, oh, he's pretty much out of it. He's now with only, what, 3-4 seconds off the lead. But let's have a look, because here comes Mark Hodgson. He's closing. This has got to be it. Surely he's going to make the move. He doesn't. He backs out again. He was actually alongside there as well.
Board. Yeah, he was, but looking at his onboard, he doesn't really seem to be using overtake all that much. So maybe he's just biding his time, waiting for maybe the last lap or two to make this, just put Hornet under pressure until then.
I tell you what, if I was these top four, I mean, they probably won't know much about it, but the person I'd be worried about that's looking the most racy is Colin. He looks like he's absolutely flying at the minute. He's already right on the back of Airways. I think Colin could win this race. He's
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
he's my 9 laps to go prediction, which I'm usually wrong about. So in other words, he's probably going to crash into. Yeah, he had a moment, didn't he?
It's super slidey. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark also had one. Yeah, luckily for him, Mark had one right behind him. But at the same time, Baby Hornet is starting to struggle because Mark is hounding him now quite a lot. Thing is, if you're going to make a move in these conditions, it's going to be into turn 3. If it's not in turn 3, you're probably not going to do it.
Oh, has he done it? No.
Oh, I thought Mark
ankle.
so nearly went into the back of him. And this is going to open an opportunity for
Yeah.
Airways quite possible. Oh, Airways has lost it. This has opened up the opportunity for Colin. Yeah, he's going to have a look up the inside. Is he going to be stronger on the brakes? No, Airways very, very strong on the brakes there. That was incredibly late. It was very brave. But now Colin's got the exit.
A bit though.
Yeah, certainly has. He's held on. In these conditions, you're not making a move there, sadly. It's hard enough in the dry.
Yeah. So Colin will just have to bide his time a little bit longer. But look at this now. The top 6 are all pretty much nose to tail.
This feels like watching Tier 1 though, with like a 6-car battle for the win. This is going to be sweaty for all of these guys now. Like, one mistake could be the difference between them getting 1st and 6th here, quite literally. So let's see, what's Armar Red? He's the one that actually looks the closest to making an overtake here. He's right on the back of Damalek. Or I'd say in these conditions, I think you'd agree, like, braking earlier is probably the best thing you can do to maximise your exit, because that's the most important thing in the rain, isn't it? The exit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's you'll find a lot of the time that if you can kind of dupe the car in front of you as well to brake in later, it'll just benefit you so much on the exit. So there'll definitely be a lot of that going on.
Yeah, that certainly
top
will.
6.
Yeah, without a doubt. I wonder if Mark's hurt his tyres a little bit from that big lock-up he had on the last lap, because he's dropped over a second now behind Baby Hornet. I wonder if his tyres are suffering a little bit after that, because he was so close going into the back of that Aston Martin, and luckily didn't for his own sake. But let's see, because Airways is hounding him now. Yeah. Oh, he's had a big moment out of the final corner as well. This could really be Airways' opportunity to get him into turn 3. He's not going to try into turn 1 because turn 1's just a silly place. There's a yellow flag, I think. I've just watched Jackster deliberately put that.
Safety car.
I think Jackster's crashed that deliberately. That's how it looks from the angle I had on the mini-map there. But we'll investigate that.
Yeah, odd place to lose it unless he was side by side with someone and maybe got dragged across. But yeah, afterwards.
It's a very strange place to crash. I'm not going to say it was deliberate because without seeing footage I don't know, but it's weird. But this is for us. This is going to be very interesting now, though. Very, very interesting. Interestingly, I just realised as well, Womack went to the wets as well. And it'll be interesting to see if Bergen and Bit do think they made the wrong decision, because this is their opportunity to then almost make the right decision now, isn't it?
I mean, made up some positions. Bergen's up to.
There's a car off
now. He was
track. On the run down. Sorry to interrupt. I think it's Bergen off track into turn 4. Yeah, maybe he was just letting someone go because he made an illegal overtake or something. Mark's hit. Baby Hornet stayed out, so he's okay with his tyres. Thing is, a fresh set of inters now will be like having a fresh set of softs at the end. He'll have so much more grip than everyone.
It's raining so hard. It's raining so hard in the pit lane. I can't believe that it's not wet weather tyres, but Mark is back out on inters.
Yeah, he certainly is. And I'll tell you what, Error Voice might be the luckiest man on planet Earth because he just about escaped being lapped there. But he survived it. Interestingly, yeah, it seems like everyone's making the inters decision. Bergen has pit. It'll be interesting to see what tyre he is going to go for. Womack's pit for a fresh set of wets. Krusty T's also pit for wets. He's on 2 lap old. He's in P10. I'm interested to see what Bergen's gone for wets as well, but Bit has gone for inters. So I'm wondering if the engineer's kind of just as confused as everyone else and is just telling everyone different things of what tyres they should be on.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the rain coming down, and it looks like heavy rain, and it looks like it should be full wet tyres, but it's been like that most of the race, and the inters seem to be holding up fairly well. So yeah, it's probably 6 of one, half a dozen of the other type decision at this stage.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure, at the end of this race. Baby Hornet, for example, will just be hoping this safety car. He'd love it if it could just finish under the safety car, wouldn't he, to be honest? But sadly, that doesn't happen in this game.
I've just noticed as well, for the first time ever, I don't know, this could have been a thing for ages in the game, I don't know, but the crowd have actually got umbrellas up.
I've never noticed it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's noticed before.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've never really paid attention to it, but it is quite a good feature to have, I guess. You know, the thing is, it's like you said, I'm so surprised that they're not on wets, because this has been hammering it down now since the rain actually first started. But if this was real life F1, they'd have been sent home already.
Yeah, it would probably have been red flag, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they'd already probably be on their way to the next race. But
we had something like this in Tier 1 Canada a couple of weeks ago now, where it was raining pretty much the entire race.
Yeah.
But it was really slow to transition between dry and wet weather tyres. It's just a strange thing sometimes on this game. I think if the track temperature is a bit higher, it just doesn't seem to affect the actual grip as much as you might expect, or if it just takes a really long time to do it.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm really, really excited for the end of this race. I'm like a kid at Christmas right now, because I have no idea who's going to win it. Mark could still have a very good chance with those fresher tyres. The thing is, this safety car is benefiting Baby Hornet to high heaven because the fact that everyone hasn't caught on to the pack.
Yeah, they've still got Era Voice and Bergen, isn't it? Still got a bit of ground to make up.
Yeah, definitely.
So if it comes in at the end of this lap, it'll be a 3-lap dash.
Yeah, quite literally, and around a track like this, it won't last very long, so you've got to be... I hope people don't send it, but you've kind of got to send it to have any chance of, you know, making a move here, because the only, to me, well, even in the dry, the only real overtaking opportunity here is turn 3, but turn 4 becomes one if you have a good turn 3. So, the turn 1 isn't, that's just, it's never going to end well. As much as it's a DRS straight and there is a braking zone, it's just too much of a narrow corner almost for you to be able to make an overtake there. But
yeah, it's just not really a long enough straight.
It's also just
To
slightly
do
too
anything.
high speed as well, that corner. Because
Yeah,
you do have to take it at quite a
yeah.
bit of speed. And with the bumps and all that in mid-corner, it's not going to work. But 10 seconds for Panizzi. He's made contact with Mark. I wonder if we'll see that one in the shoes potentially afterwards. But here we go. We've got a dash to the end. Is it going to finish as an Aston 1-2? Is Colin going to win? Is Mark going to come from 6th on his fresh tyres? Well, the next 3 laps will answer all of that. Who's your prediction to win really quickly, Neville? On the spot.
Colin. I'm going to say Colin.
Yeah, well, we've both got Colin, and so if he doesn't win, he can actually hate both of us. At least
Okay.
it's not
Well,
just
if you're having Colin, I'll go with Mark. I'll say Mark.
Okay, no, I mean, I was more than happy, because if Colin doesn't win, then he hates both of us rather than just one. But, but it's fine. Yeah, I think Mark is in a very good position with those tyres, but it's so hard to make moves in these conditions. It's not like the dry where you can just send it with DRS. Armour Red.
Turn 1, he was so late on the brakes compared to Armour Red.
Yeah, I think he's going to get the move done here, you know. He's going to have that much more grip.
He's got to go for it.
No, he's not going to send it. I'll tell you what, though, look at that battle for P2, Colin. And I think Airways has run wide. That's going to mean he has to give the position to Colin. He has, but this has made it 3 wide down that straight. But now Armour Red and Damalek have both gone past, and Armour Red's there. But Airways is now on the defensive from Hodgson as well. He's got fresh tyres. Armour Red's been squeezed out on the exit. And that's allowed Damalek through, and now Mark's looking round the outside of Armour Red, but no, they backed out for the time being. But now Airways is on the inside of Mark, but Mark's going to have the grip through this section with the fresher tyres, and he's going to be able to hold on for the time being. But a bit of a move for Airways has allowed single track through as well. Don't forget, single track's also on fresh tyres. He's having a look on the inside of his teammate into the penultimate corner, and he's got it done. Could single track win this yet?
Oh, he's got a second to Armour Red with only 2 laps to go. Armour Red having a look at Damalek into turn 1, but backs out. And yeah, those Williams boys are not too far away.
At the minute, Baby Hornet has a good 1 second gap, and he's got what? A lap and a half-ish or so to go. So can he hold on? Can he see this out? He might be okay. It could be a huge win for him today in Tier 2. But both Williams are definitely going to be in the hunt for the podium here. Martin might even get Armour Red into 4. Is he going to send it up the inside? He does! He's made a lunge! He's gone up the inside. Is he going to have the grip on the exit with the fresh tyres? He's almost wheel to rear wheel, and no, Armour Red's just about done enough to hold on. That was very good driving for the pair of them.
Yeah,
Martin did well not to lose that on the curb.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't look as though the older Inters are actually losing too much, although Martin's got a super exit down to the penultimate corner, and he's going to go through.
That's the second move we've seen him pull off there. Now Mark's having a look at Airways, Armour. There, I'm getting confused. Why'd you have to keep battling? But let's look at Martin. He's now right. Martin could get, if he can get Damalek down this straight, could he get Colin down the next straight? That's the question. This is going to be insanely close. I think Baby Hornet's going to have enough to win this race. Just about. Is Martin going to absolutely... The thing is, I think Colin might be a bit too... He's going to send it! He's made the lunge! He's committed to it! There's a bit of contact between the two! Oh, there's actually a lot of contact between the two!
Oh, that was... Armour Red and Mark.
I don't know where to look. But they both managed to hold on. Oh, Armour Red's gone off at the back. He's lost the position to Peninsula now as well. But single track's going to hold on.
Armour Red got screwed there.
He really did that hurt him a lot. Oh, there's contact between Damalek and single track. Let's go to Baby Hornet really quick. Actually, no, because Martin's coming up to his favourite corner for an overtake here, isn't he? And he's using his ERS. He's going to try it again. He really is going to try it again, isn't he? No, he's not. No way. But Baby Hornet, he's going to come across the line. He's going to secure P2 in the championship. And he wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Colin will be second. But what on earth is going on across this line? Damalek is third. Single track fourth. Mark fifth. Oh my God. I have no idea what just happened across that line. They looked 5 wide at one point. Well,
absolute carnage.
that last 3 laps was everything I wanted it to be. To be honest with you, it didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. There might be a few stewards reports because some of the driving there looked like a bit of contact here and there, but I think I tell you what, when Damalek and Martin made that contact out of 3, I had really big PTSD. Oh, Airways is DNF. That's weird.
Yeah, on the run to turn 3.
I
Which
think
is
he's
after
just.
the line, so I don't know.
He's left the session too early, is what's happened, and the game's DNF'd him. I think
Okay.
that's what I believe happened. Anyway, Dondage, driver of the day. Yeah, I remember he started 19th. Also started on the soft, but I have no idea where he's just finished. But if he scored points, he could be a real shout for it. That's for sure. But I've been told that people want to see their podium celebrations, so I better show Baby Hornet celebrating on the podium. I think we've seen enough. He's held the trophy, and I don't really want to see his ugly face. So, anyway, Baby Hornet wins the Austrian Grand Prix, secures P2 in the championship. That's huge for him. Colin is second. Damalek is third single track. What a last few laps that was from him. He's P4. Mark with the fastest lap as well in P5. Amar Red is P6. Dondage got P7 from P20. That's impressive. Krusty T in P8, Sociopath P9, Bit rounds out the points in P10. When you think of his messy strategy, that's a good result for him as well. And then Womack, Smith, Panitza, Freddie Olsen, Error Voice, Bergen were the last finishers. And then Airways, Jackster, Wookie, Monster, all DNF'd. But are you excited to get on track in, how long have we got? 20 minutes time?
I am. I personally, I'm hoping it doesn't rain, but I'm sure that for the entertainment, it will be better if it does. Whatever happens, I'll deal with it and hopefully not crash.
You're going to beat your Joni today. That's what I want to hear.
No.
You're going to beat your Joni.
Absolutely no chance unless he crashes and DNFs himself.
It could be arranged. I shouldn't say that. But no, that is it for Tier 2. Like I said, Tier 1 starts in just under 20 minutes time, so make sure you tune in. I think the commentary team is... Actually, I'm not going to pretend I know because I have no clue. But either way, everyone's great. Everyone is good at commentary here, so you'll enjoy it. It is Mark and Monster, so yeah, make sure you tune in to hear the Hodgie Howe, who's just finished his race. But thank you for joining me, Neville. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, my pleasure. Cheers, Connor. Good to finally
Happened at long last.
Get paired up together.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
happened, and I'm sure it'll happen again sometime in the future. But yeah, guys, don't forget to leave a like on the YouTube and subscribe as well, because believe it or not, we do need viewers. But yeah, that'll be it, and thank you all for watching. Good night.